Behind the scenes at the Jefferson Health Training Complex, something is happening, my friend. A highly respected executive by Howie Roseman just left Philadelphia, and he left with an enviable promotion. We're talking about a name that spent years building the Eagles' winning culture from the inside, away from the cameras, away from the spotlight, but absolutely essential to the operation of the most efficient machine in American football. And now he was hired by an NFC rival to take on one of the most important roles in a franchise. This isn't just a departure, my friend. This is a sign that the Eagles develop talent at every level, including in the executive boardrooms. I'm going to tell you the whole story of this move, who this executive is, what role he's taking on, and what it means for the future of the Eagles front office. But first, if you're a die-hard Fly Eagles Fly fan, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel right now, because the moves this offseason are happening at a rapid pace, and you can't afford to fall behind. The real question here goes far beyond a simple departure. When a high-level executive is promoted to another franchise, it raises important questions. What was his contribution in Philadelphia? What do the Eagles lose with this departure? And why was another NFL team so eager to have him? Taking a step back, you have to understand that the Eagles front office isn't built by Howie Roseman alone. There's an entire structure of people working in sync so that every decision, draft, free agency, game operations, is made in the most efficient way possible. And it's exactly in this context that this departure carries real weight. The executive in question spent years in Philadelphia after a long journey through American football. Before joining the Eagles, he accumulated nothing less than 9 years of experience at another NFL franchise between 2012 and 2020 in the pro scouting department. You know what it means to spend nearly a decade evaluating talent at the professional level. It means that when he arrived at the Jefferson Health Training Complex in 2021 as a senior pro scout, he already had a sharp eye, a read on the market, and an understanding of the league that few professionals ever develop. And the Eagles noticed that quickly. In less than a year, Howie Roseman promoted him to Director of Football Operations. Then, in 2024, came another leap, the title of Vice President of Football Operations. Think about that, my friend. In just 3 or 4 years inside the organization, this executive climbed from senior scout to VP. That doesn't happen by accident. That happens when someone has competence, discipline, integrity, and a work ethic that catches the attention of one of the brightest minds in the NFL. And that someone's name is Jeff Scott. Jeff Scott. That's the name the Eagles lost to the Atlanta Falcons, and this was no ordinary departure. It was a direct promotion to the role of assistant general manager in Atlanta. What does that mean in practice? It means Scott is now one step away from the top decision-making position of an NFL franchise. He now joins the executive leadership of the Falcons alongside the team's new GM, Ian Cunningham. And that's where the story gets even more interesting, my friend. Ian Cunningham is not an unknown name in the Eagles universe. He also worked in Philadelphia. Cunningham's last year with the organization was right before he left to become assistant GM in Chicago, exactly when Jeff Scott was arriving at the Jefferson Health Training Complex for his first year as a senior scout. The two crossed paths for only a short time, but long enough for Cunningham to recognize what Scott had to offer. When Cunningham was promoted to GM of the Atlanta Falcons, the first call he made was to find someone he trusted, with proven integrity, who truly understood football. And the man he chose was Jeff Scott. Cunningham's statement says it all. He highlighted that Scott is a man of integrity, with a high level of attention to detail, discipline, and that he treats everyone with respect. He also said that Scott's values align with those of the Atlanta Falcons, as does the mission of building a team that consistently competes for championships. That is quite a compliment, my friend, and it's exactly the kind of profile that Howie Roseman cultivates within the organization. But here's something that makes this story even more revealing about Roseman's character. Normally, a front office move like this would have to wait until after the NFL draft, which is happening later this month of April. There's a logical reason for that. Football operations executives are deeply involved in the draft evaluation process, and losing one of them on the eve of the most important event on the off-season calendar would be a serious problem for any franchise. But Roseman gave the green light for Scott to interview with the Falcons before the draft. Why? Because the bulk of Scott's responsibilities were on the pro side of the organization, evaluating professional players, not college prospects. So the immediate impact on the draft process was smaller. And Cunningham was so grateful for that gesture that he didn't just thank Roseman behind closed doors. He made a point of publicly acknowledging Roseman's posture, stating that this is a relationship business, and that he thanks the Eagles GM for allowing Scott the opportunity to advance his career. That says a lot, my friend. In a world where franchises sometimes block departures out of pure self-interest, Roseman chose the path of mutual respect and genuine appreciation for people. Here's the thing. What do the Eagles lose with Jeff Scott's departure? They lose experience, they lose a bridge between the operations and pro scouting departments, and they lose an executive who was clearly on the rise within the organization. But at the same time, this departure is a reflection of what the Eagles front office has built over recent years. A talent development culture so solid that other franchises keep a close eye on the professionals who work there. That should be a source of pride for every fan in Philadelphia. How long will it take Roseman to find a worthy replacement? That's the big question. With the NFL draft approaching fast, we're talking weeks. The priority now is making sure no operational gap compromises the player evaluation and selection process. The Eagles already have a robust department, but losing a VP of football operations is never trivial. Roseman will have to act with the same speed and intelligence he's always shown when it comes to filling gaps on the roster. Only this time, the roster in question is the front office itself. And thinking about the Atlanta Falcons for a moment, this move is a clear sign that the Georgia franchise is trying to build a stronger decision-making structure. With Cunningham running things as GM and now Scott as his direct assistant, the Falcons have assembled executive leadership with Eagles DNA, and that's no coincidence. Philadelphia went to the Super Bowl in the 2024 season, and any NFL franchise looking to grow will seek references in the processes that work. And Roseman's processes work. Jeff Scott is living proof of that. With so many pieces moving this offseason, the draft approaching, the departure of a key executive, and the mission of keeping a championship-caliber roster competitive, which do you think is Howie Roseman's biggest challenge right now? Replacing Jeff Scott in the front office before the draft, or making sure the picks in this draft carry the same level of analysis that Scott helped build over the last few years? Leave your opinion in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe to the channel. I'll be back later to update you with the latest Eagles news.